once again, my watchers of TV shows. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my college dorm room. Now, this week I'm talking to you guys about the series Torchwood. This is not just a season by season type of review that I'm going to be doing. It is, but I'm not going to do a separate video for each season. This is just the whole series in one huge bundle, so there will be spoilers for this. Keep that in mind. If you haven't watched the whole of Torchwood from season 1 up to the end of Miracle Day, then you will have stuff spoiled for you. Yeah, that is what is going to be going on with this, and you have thus been warned. Now, for those of you who do not know, which is probably 3 of you, Torchwood is a spin-off of Doctor Who. It stars John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness, and he was seen throughout Christopher Eccleston's season, periodically throughout David Tennant's season. You see him the very end of David Tennant's End of Time, and then... But the Torchwood series started after season 2 of Doctor Who, so that's where the timelines kind of overlap and interact and all that stuff. If that made sense, that's lovely. Captain Jack Harkness, played by John Barrowman, he is the main character in this whole thing. He was born in the 51st century, and if you've seen, I guess this is kind of a spoiler for those of you who haven't seen the end of season 1 of Doctor Who, which I don't know how many of you would. Not seen that yet. He becomes immortal thanks to Rose Tyler. She gets the power of the TARDIS inside of her, and she makes him immortal somehow. This is Captain Jack leading a group of, at the beginning, 5 people who are trying to protect the world and make the 21st century ready for alien contact, because as is spoken repeatedly throughout the series, the 21st century is when everything changes. Our second character is Gwen Cooper, portrayed by Eve Miles, and she does a really good job. She is arguably the main character. Jack and Gwen are the characters that are throughout the whole series thus far. They are the 2 central characters to the show and the 2 main members of Torchwood. Her story is probably the most central one to the whole series, because we see her backstory quite a lot, and we see her dealing with various things throughout Torchwood and throughout the series. And she's married to she starts out being engaged to a guy named Rhys Williams, and who's portrayed by Kai Owen. He is actually also throughout the show. I thought that he was going to be killed off at some point, and it'd be tragic and everything, but no, he is still alive at the end of Torchwood, Miracle Day. Yeah, and then we have 3 other members of Torchwood who are in... 2 are in the first 2 seasons, and then they get killed off, and then the other one is in Children of Earth, and then that person gets killed off. So I won't say who yet until I talk about those individual sections of the show. First we have Ianto Jones, portrayed by David-Lloyd. He is actually a very interesting character. We see kind of a development with him very early on in the first season. He has a Cyberwoman who is half changed into a Cyberman, and it's his girlfriend, and he is trying to fix her, and it obviously does not end well, and it's a very interesting situation that he is put in, and it's a very interesting way to kind of showcase Ianto. But Ianto is very essential. He's basically he is technically the butler, but he becomes much more of a part. He becomes a much more important part of the team later on in the series. And then we also have Vern Gorman as Owen Harper, and he is probably the most interesting character besides Jack and Gwen, because Owen is a very complicated character, because you see him develop his character throughout the season, or throughout the series, and something happens in the midsection of season 2 to him, which really revolutionizes his character, and he's the doctor of Torchwood, by the way. He's their medic, and he's a very complicated character, and I will talk about that later on when we talk about the individual seasons. And lastly, we have, I'm probably going to butcher this, Naiko Mori, who portrays Toshiko Sato, and she is Torchwood's tech person. She runs all the technology, she does all the spyware, and she knows what she's doing with computers. And she is also an interesting character. She's kind of more behind the scenes for the most part, but she does have a few episodes where she is the main star of it, and we get to see her really shine. So those are the main characters of the Torchwood team. I'll talk about different characters that are important to either Children of Earth or Miracle Day as I get to those sections, but those are the 5 main characters of the show. 6 main characters of the show. Now on to the plot. Season 1, we are introduced to Gwen Cooper and the whole Torchwood situation. As we saw in Doctor Who, Torchwood was originally designed by Queen Elizabeth or something, and she developed Torchwood to kind of protect the Earth against alien invaders, primarily the Doctor. End of season 2, we see Torchwood destroyed, and then Jack Harkness kind of rebuilds it and makes it into more of what it should be, which is protecting the Earth from aliens and defending the human race. So season 1 and 2 are primarily that. It's basically each episode is the Torchwood team going out and protecting Cardiff from these creatures that will show up primarily through the rift, and it's basically a cut, which is not really seeable, but it's a cut through time and space that creatures can get into, and it's Torchwood's job to kind of protect the rift and defend things, and protect the world from the things that get through the rift and into Earth. Yeah, I thought season 1 really well done. It kind of showed the character dynamics. It showed that Gwen and Owen were kind of weak. I was kind of surprised to see Gwen cheat on Reese a few times, but I thought she dealt with it quickly. I thought that they kind of backed away from it. They kind of faded it out after a while. Reese never finds out about it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. That's season 1. It ends very dramatically, but it's kind of a predictable finale. Season 2 gets even more action-packed. We see the more homosexual Jack Harkness in season 2 and past that, which, all for it, but it was just kind of surprising to see. Yeah, season 2 introduces a fellow time agent who Jack Harkness was partners with a long time ago, and that whole story arc was very interesting to see because you had little segments of it pop up throughout the season, just like with season 1, and it all came together in the finale. I like the fact that Martha Jones from Doctor Who, she showed up for about 5 episodes or something when Owen dies, and then he's brought back to life indefinitely, technically. I like the fact that they were able to kind of align Torchwood and Doctor Who without just referencing the show from time to time. Okay. Spoiler for those who have not seen the end of season 2, because I'm about to talk about it really quickly. At the end of season 2, Owen, Harper, and Tosh die. Tosh is shot and she dies from blood loss, and Owen is, I guess, disintegrated because of all the radiation or something. It doesn't really show what happens to him, but he's stuck in a radiation area, and even though he's immortal, he still gets killed once his body is no longer there. That's kind of sad. I'd actually known that was going to happen because I looked ahead to season 3 to see who the cast was, and they weren't on there, so I was like, oh crap. So I know. Season 3, Children of Earth. This was a 5-part miniseries that they did, and I thought it was really, really good. I watched the whole thing straight through episode 1 through episode 5, back to back, and I enjoyed it very, very much. I thought it was a very cool way to do Torchwood, and kind of showing what they would be like if they did not have the government on their side and they were being hunted, and they didn't have all the clearance that they did, if they had to save the world on very limited technology. And you see the base get destroyed, you see Yonto perish at the end of, I think, episode 3, and the whole thing was very sad. And yeah, sorry, I'm not getting into a whole lot of this because I didn't watch it recently. I just finished Miracle Day a few days ago. Yeah, if you want to know any specifics exactly, let me know in the comments, and I will try to talk about those as best as possible. At the very end of Children of Earth, Jack goes away, presumably to the bar that the Doctor finds him in. 10th Doctor finds him in at the very end of time, and That's what my assumption is, because Miracle Day begins in 2011, and that is during Maximus time. Miracle Day, basically everyone on Earth has become immortal, and then Jack has become mortal. The main focus of this, Gwen and Reese are in hiding because Torchwood has basically been disbanded, and because she's the only surviving member. As far as she's aware, Jack is gone. They all gather together. A person named Rex Matheson, he is an FBI agent, and he becomes a very important character in this series. And then there's another person called Oswald Danes. He is basically a convicted killer and sexual predator, and the very opening scene of Miracle Day is his execution by lethal injection, and it fails because right before that happens, everyone becomes immortal and nobody dies. The food amount that is on Earth is predicted to run out in 4 months, and so extreme measures are taken to kind of balance that. And it's a very interesting thing to think about, is if this was to happen, how would the government react? Would they stay silent? Would they actually put these protocols to use? What would happen? And it's a very interesting hypothesis of what could happen with it. I did enjoy the end of Miracle Day. I was pissed by the fact that it had a huge cliffhanger with Rex. Spoiler alert, really quick, end of Miracle Day. I was pissed by the fact that Rex, he woke up after he basically is immortal now, just like Jack, because he has blood inside of him. And that was just major cliffhanger right there. And then also the family seems to be plotting some phase 2 of whatever they were doing with Miracle Day. I really, really, really hope that they make a season 5 of Torchwood. I love the show. I thought they did an amazing job with it. If this is the finale, it worked really well. They ended it on a really high note, and yeah, overall, very impressed with the show. Definitely recommend it if you have watched Doctor Who, if you like sci-fi stuff, anything like that. Give the show a few episodes to really get going, and don't just jump in a random spot, or else you're not going to have any idea what's going on. So, yeah, that's my review. Sorry it was kind of long, but that's how it goes. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I'd appreciate that immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Pell, and as always, keep on watching.